Paula G. Voice, aka Lady Wisdom After Midnight. 7 Ways to See Beyond the Mask. We have been in this for a minute, and it looks like we're going to be in this for a few more minutes. The analogy of a minute versus the literal meaning. Since we've donned the recommended face covering, I've noticed a few things. One being misunderstandings. I spoke to her and she didn't even respond. The person is now upset with the individual who didn't speak. Self-awareness is important during these times. While we can hear ourselves talk behind a mask, sometimes we may not realize that our voices are not projecting as loudly as we think they are. One of my growing pet peeves is the demise of communication from person to person in this microwave society we now find ourselves in. On top of that, we now seem to only communicate with our eyes when in public. Have we forgotten also how to wave a warm gesture of hello? Have we forgotten how to nod a warm hello? What is happening to our mode of communication? It distresses me so that many relationships have gone up in flames or have been permanently damaged based on the recipient's interpretation of the method of communication. It seems that no one considers technology could be the culprit. I sent you 2 text messages and you never responded, so I can only assume. You can finish the sentence. In the meantime, the recipient could have been plagued with anything from an illness, an accident, an incident, or just not ever receiving the message on their end. Now, granted, I am well aware some of you just plain ignore text messages. I get it. You know you did. We do have to account for that element by the same token, not assume that to be the norm. I have had this experience, a person highly upset with me about lack of response to a text message sent. Once I was in their company and showed them my phone, they were humbly apologetic, but the unkind words had already been sprayed into the atmosphere and landed on my soul. A whole scenario based on a text transmitted via technology. Now let's rewind and consider how differently these incidents may have turned out had the person picked up the phone and actually called. I've had that happen also, and the outcome has been much better because we were able to speak and work together and follow through on the purpose of the original text message. I hope I'm not getting too detailed here, but the point is we have to start picking up the phone or get on a Zoom call or some form of actual audio contact and communicate. Lord have mercy. I won't even address the auto text that doesn't even transcribe what you actually say, and that sends yet another wrong message. We talk into the phone, it transcribes the text, and we hit send. How many times have I had to go back and correct that thing because it was putting words in my mouth? And sometimes they were bad words. Our emotions are triggered by what we see, hear, taste, feel, and smell. Our emotions are triggered by our senses. In this instant society we now find ourselves, we see or hear something and we respond instantly. In some cases, the information received is inaccurate and we must now live with this response that we now may regret because it has caused some form of damage in our lives. Okay, I think I'm on a soapbox. We have got to be more conscious of what we say, how we say it, when we say it, and to whom we say it. For some people, their main tool of communication is texting because they don't like to talk. The time lapse in response creates another layer of back and forth interaction based on the assumption made by the lack or the delayed response. It's like we think the other person just spends their day sitting, waiting for us to text so they can respond in our time. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox and move on. We look at each other in passing but seldom speak. We make judgment on each other based on the facial expression. What facial expression? We can only see your eyes. This made me think, I need to start smiling with my eyes. Yes, when people see me, they need to see that I smile through my eyes. I need to project a hello. How are you today? Project enough so I can be heard. Verbally as well. I also need to make a point to say something nice to my fellow man. We don't know what's going on in other people's worlds or their minds. So I offer a few suggestions on how to improve the way we communicate with each other. Limit the text messaging to a short, sweet message, not a dissertation. Refrain from sending a dissertation. If you must relay extensive information, perhaps do so in email form, especially if documentation of the conversation is needed. Call, Zoom, face-to-face, FaceTime, have a clarifying conversation. And if we're face-to-face in this particular season, social distance, face-to-face. If out in public, we are all masked up, so we wave, we nod our heads, or we speak a clear hello to the other person. Smile with your eyes. And if you don't get a response, don't always assume you're being ignored. Sometimes a person's mind is elsewhere, but they may be staring straight at you. We can hear ourselves project, but are we actually projecting? The words you speak may be the kindest words a person has heard all day. Beyond the mask, what will your eyes say? How will you use your words to uplift your fellow man? I pray that smiling eyes will come back to you and uplifting words as well. I am Paula G. Voice. I'm a sagacious, independent lifestyle influencer. I'm embracing my own journey and sharing experiences along the way. I'm challenging dreamers to do the same by breathing life into their deferred dreams and living out the reality. It is never too late to embrace your journey and live your dreams. Visit Paula's blog at paulagvoice.com for the full journey.